Hello, welcome to this session of the Startup 101. Okay, I'm excited to be with you again. I believe our first session was very helpful to you in defining what entrepreneurship is and what entrepreneurship is not. It is important, and that is a foundation that you need to go back to if you didn't watch that episode. So it's important you need to go back to that episode. But I can give you a few snippets of what we learned in our previous class. Okay, so in the previous class, we tried to define what entrepreneurship is. And we said that to lay the foundation for the definition itself, we need to understand that entrepreneurship is a mindset, it's a thought pattern, it's a way of thinking. Entrepreneurship is not necessarily starting your own business. Okay, so you can be an entrepreneur and not necessarily have your own business, but still excel with the thinking, the thought pattern of an entrepreneur in another person's organization. Okay, and we said entrepreneurship is the ability of identifying a problem, a challenge, or an opportunity, finding solution to the problem or challenge found, or tapping into the opportunity, turning the solution found into a viable business or organization that brings you value in terms of cash, money, or profit, or personal satisfaction. So that helps us define what entrepreneurship is. Okay, brilliant. So today in this class, we want to discuss 6 attributes or characteristics of entrepreneurs. Who is an entrepreneur and what makes him an entrepreneur? Very exciting topic. So let's get to class. Welcome back to class. As I said earlier, today we are going to look at 6 essential characteristics or attributes of an entrepreneur. What makes an entrepreneur an entrepreneur? How can you identify him? What separates him from every other person? Very, very important. And these are attributes that you need to develop yourself. And remember again, entrepreneurs are built. They are made. They are developed. So there is nothing to say I'm not made to be an entrepreneur. I was not born an entrepreneur. You can develop these attributes or these characteristics as you watch, you practice over a period of time. They will begin to show up. Okay, so let's go to them, and I'm going to take them one by one. 6 essential attributes and characteristics of an entrepreneur. Number 1, the entrepreneur is visionary. Visionary. Very important to know this, visionary. And it's important why it is number 1 on my list. Okay, an entrepreneur is somebody that sees things. He sees far. And you remember when I was defining entrepreneurship, I said it's the ability to see, identify a problem, a challenge, or an opportunity. You have the vision to see things. Okay, so the entrepreneur is somebody that is visionary. They see beyond what everybody is seeing. So they can see waste, but within that waste, they are seeing money. They can see problems within the community, but they are able to identify that is not supposed to be a problem. There's an opportunity within that space for us. So they look beyond the present and see into the future. So that is why we say that number 1 attribute or characteristics of entrepreneurs is that they are able to see beyond today. They are able to see beyond today. They are visionary people. And you would attest to the fact that if you see all the notable entrepreneurs across the world, name them: Bill Gates, Elon Musk, all of them, all the entrepreneurs we have, they were able to see things that their contemporaries did not see. So today, we are driving electric cars. I think when Bill Gates invented his software and started developing software, people did not understand him. Okay, when Elon Musk started his things, and today he's looking at going into space travel, etc., people will be laughing at him. Okay, so that makes an entrepreneur. He's able to see opportunity where other people would not see him. So he's a visionary person. He sees beyond his contemporary. He sees opportunities where others cannot see it. So when people are walking around and you see land across Africa lying fallow, an entrepreneur will not see that as a problem. He will see that as opportunity and say that, can't all this place be transformed into some farm or something? Now that makes you entrepreneur. That is the visionary thing I'm talking about. They look and see beyond their contemporary. They don't just look at a problem as a problem. They see a problem, but in that problem, they see an opportunity that can be tapped into. Very, very important. Number 2 essential attributes and characteristics is leadership. So entrepreneurs are mostly leaders. And it's important I make this thing very clear. I'm not talking about management, because the truth is that not every great leader is a good manager. And it's important you understand it. So entrepreneurs have the attribute or characteristics of leading things. They are in charge. They are people who are able to inspire others to follow. And leadership is mainly about influence. Entrepreneurs are able to influence the people to follow a dream, to follow a passion. So even in their workplaces or set up, they are able to inspire people to believe in their concept and where they are going. So leadership is a critical characteristic or attribute of entrepreneurs. Number 3, risk taking. This is very important. If you don't know how to take risks, or if you are a person that is so scared of risks, you are afraid of failure, entrepreneurship will not be for you. Very important. You need to get this, because entrepreneurs are risk takers. Because we go into ventures that may not work. May work, may not work. But we invest our time, invest our energy, invest our life into it, because we hope it will work. Though we take very calculated risks, entrepreneurs are primarily very much risk takers. Because sometimes you go into ventures or you go into sectors that are uncharted. Nobody has tried it before, but you want to go into it because you are seeing a potential in there. Okay? So risk taking is something you need to begin to identify with if you want to explore this thing called entrepreneurship. If you are afraid of losing, if you are afraid of failure, then I'll not advise you to this line of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are risk takers. Number 4, creative. Creative. Now, this is very, very important. Entrepreneurs are very creative people. They sometimes, in the midst of mud or in the midst of waste, you see an entrepreneur is able to identify that problem and be able to create something new from it. Okay? So entrepreneurs are very creative people. They are always looking at doing new things. What is it that nobody has done yet? And that is one of the things for me as a young investor, I always look out for. So when some young entrepreneurs approach me and they are looking for funding or something, I tell them that, or they are looking for support, one of the questions I always ask is, what is new? What is creative about what we are doing? Very important. So though everyone is doing it, what is essentially new, creative about your product or your service? So entrepreneurs are very creative people. They are looking at bringing out new things always. They are looking at setting a standard that nobody has reached always. And it's important. Innovative. So entrepreneurs are very innovative people. And there is something we say in business or entrepreneurship that you innovate or you die. So every time businesses need to look at trends. How can we do things better? How can we do things to meet the trend of today? As a business, you need to be very innovative to meet up with the trends. Any business that is refusing to innovate would essentially die. A few years ago, we had phones like BlackBerry. Everybody was so passionate with BlackBerry. If you don't have BlackBerry, you are not in vogue, okay? But BlackBerry has closed down, they've shut down. Why? Innovation. Because other brands have come and surpassed their brand. So they have not been able to keep up with the trend. Another classical example is Nokia. Nokia phones are virtually non-existent today. Why? Some years ago, Nokia was the trend, but today, Nokia is no more. Innovation. So you either innovate or you lose your existence. And innovation is always creating new things. How do you keep up with the trends? Another classic example is marketing. How do you market today? There were marketing trends some years ago. Some years ago, everybody was going to our traditional TV to do advertising and marketing, building big and investing into big billboards all over the country. But today, marketing has evolved. So if you are doing marketing the same way and not innovating and not being creative about your way of marketing, you will lose a lot of money and go out of business. Today, everything has shifted to social media. So you need to go into social media and learn, how do I reach my clients on their phones? And that is very, very important. I remember when Corona came and schools were closed. Now, schools had to be innovative and still ask themselves, how can we still be in business whilst in lockdown? Schools started going into doing virtual classrooms. And that was when softwares or conferencing apps started coming up. And everybody was going to Zoom and Skype. And they are all innovative ways of still meeting targets, of still creating an audience, of still training people, of still teaching students, and still being in business and being relevant. So if you are an entrepreneur and you refuse to be innovative, you'll very soon be out of business. Very, very important. The final one is problem solving. So this is an essential attribute of every entrepreneur: ability to solve problems. Now remember, this can be called from the definition we had earlier on, where we said entrepreneurship is the ability to identify a problem and find solution to the problem. It therefore means that ability to find solution to problems, to solve problems, is essential to the entrepreneurship process. So you can't be an entrepreneur when you don't know how to solve problems. It is the solution you find for those problems, that is where you are able to build a business around them or develop a product or a service around and make money. Basically, entrepreneurship is about people. So anyone that cares for people and thinks about people, passionate about people, you are on the path to become an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs solve problems. And we basically solve problems of humans, of people, of other living things. So, and it is through these problems we solve that we make money. So whilst your colleagues and other people are identifying problems and complaining and blaming others, you won't do that, because to you, that problem is an opportunity. And the moment you are able to find solution to it, you are on the path to create something awesome. You'll be amazed the kind of products that people have developed over the years, and they develop those products just simply by solving a problem. Okay, so that trait, that characteristics is essential if you want to be an entrepreneur. Solve problems, identify problems, get excited about what people are going through and how you can get solution to those basic problems. It is important. In today's class, what we have sought to do is to look at 6 essential attributes and characteristics of an entrepreneur. This would help us define who an entrepreneur is and who an entrepreneur is not. And we look at visionary, leader, risk taker, creative, innovative, and a problem solver. These are very essential characteristics or attributes of every entrepreneur. I hope you've learned something in this episode. It is amazing. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to find a way to develop these traits. And again, these traits can be developed. No one is necessarily born to be an entrepreneur. You can develop it by going for training, attending seminars, by reading a lot on entrepreneurship, and you will begin to see these traits pop up in you. Okay, that is why you need to be part of these sessions. You need to join the Startup 101 class. Okay, this is your virtual entrepreneurship training platform, number one in the whole world. And we are here to give you all the training you need to be able to build that competitive business in Africa. So subscribe, hit that button, very, very important, so that you get the first notification when we have a new class in session. Thank you, and let's build an amazing Africa.